Hi, it's Datache, and while I've been watching the outside world turn to flame in the last few months, I've turned to a personal source of hope for myself, my refuge in times of sickness and struggle. Super Mario. I think a lot about Mario and its world and its characters for reasons that a doctor can probably explain, but it's not the focus of this video. What is the focus of this video is the brutal murder that happened just over 10 years ago now. In 2013, with the release of Mario & Luigi Dream Team, was the last known physical appearance of the great googly moogly guy himself, Toadsworth. What happened to him? Where is his body? We are going to review every single appearance of this old codger, and we are going to get to the bottom of the murder of Toadsworth. Also, if you like my stuff, you should consider subscribing. Anyway, Super Mario Sunshine is known for many things. Controversial controls, a very weird gimmick, voice acting.
Mario! How dare you disturb my family vacation?
I like it. Most important of all, though, is the debut of Toadsworth. And as you'll catch on, he doesn't tend to have a very major role. Like, throughout the GameCube and Wii era, he'll tend to be around Princess Peach as a sort of advisor, and later, sort of a paternal figure. He's a massive worrywart, and is genuinely trying to care for the princess and the Toad youngsters they brought to Delfino Island.
What's this icky paint-like goop? It's moving!
Now, boys, don't touch that stuff.
And I feel that's very endearing. Aww. Everyone needs a Toadsworth. And it looks like Nintendo agreed. Throughout the GameCube era, on both the home and portable consoles, Luigi's Mansion and Super Mario Sunshine informed what characters we'd see in the spin-offs for the next few years. It's why EGAD had a lot of presence in the RPGs early on, and why you'd see Piantas in the audiences for Mario Kart and the sports games, or as NPCs in Thousand Year Door. Toadsworth did a bit of it all. He cameos in a lot of the sports games, usually as umpires or some sort of referee-like neutral party. He hosted Mario Party at one point, Mario Party 7 to be exact, as part of this cruise vacation he held for the gang. Funny enough, he's only been playable like twice, once in Mario Superstar Golf, and the other in a Japan-only Mahjong game. A game where he's also one of the hardest opponents, which I really shouldn't be surprised by. I guess I just never pictured him as a final boss. And then in the RPGs, the RPGs. This is where Toadsworth gets the most appearances and the bulk of his characterization. In the majority of the RPGs, he fulfills his usual role of getting a stomach ulcer because of the princess's latest disappearance. In Superstar Saga, he gets a love interest in the form of Lima. But where I think he got the most time to shine was Partners in Time. Mario & Luigi Partners in Time is a bit of a black sheep in that franchise, although I think people have warmed up to it now. But Nintendo sure haven't, since they never bothered to remaster it like the others. Anyway, to make a long story short, this game is about the Mario Bros teaming up with their younger selves to defeat an alien menace called the Shroobs, who are taking over the past version of the Mushroom Kingdom. Simple. And because of all this time travel nonsense, the past versions of Toadsworth and Princess Peach end up in the present, alongside the current Toadsworth. Now, usually Toadsworth spends these games crying like a little baby, but because there is a literal baby to take care of, he's busy being a dad to her, and we get to see both these Toadsworths interact. A lot of the new moves that the Mario Bros learn come from observing the Toadsworth getting up to mischief to try and cheer up baby Peach. It's all so precious. If you've ever wanted to see a man in his prime make fun of the older him who's got back pain, this is the game for you. I won't act like Toadsworth is the most popular character in this franchise, but I certainly don't believe he deserved to fully fall off the edge of the planet. He was a consistent member of the Mario & Luigi cast, and when Paper Jam came out, he was mysteriously nowhere to be found. If you're into the Mario RPGs, you'd know that it was after Sticker Star came out that they were apparently not allowed to modify Mario characters anymore, or make original ones, which is weird for many reasons that don't fit this video, but also because Toadsworth originates from a mainline game. It's weird that he has seemingly been treated like part of that mandate. He's been put into remakes of games where he should be, but none of the newer original titles include him. The last time he was considered for something was the Mario movie, There is concept art for an appearance, but he got replaced with this Toad General who essentially fulfills the same role and has a very similar outfit. There's no doubt about this, it's a purposeful decision. They are actively trying to get rid of him, or at least hide him. And I have a few ideas of why this has happened. I think they're scared of giving Peach a parental figure, and it might be because it implies age. How old is Mario? Or Luigi, or Bowser, or Peach? You might have your own guesses. Mine personally hover around the late 20s for most of them, except Bowser, who's a grown man and a single dad, and I think we should all just appreciate that fact. But there's a lot of conflicting material from instruction manuals and live-action movies, which would imply that the characters are a lot older or a lot younger than being young adults. Toadsworth very explicitly raised Princess Peach and acts like a father. I don't know where the baby came from, but I don't think the characters know either. You can't tell me Luigi knows what sex is. And while this isn't the only Mario character dynamic that could be perceived this way, it's still the only one with a character who could be very young or an adult based on the game's context. Like, yeah, Mario and Luigi had Yoshi as a guardian for a bit growing up, but it's not as if he comes up to Mario and starts telling him he's grounded if he sneaks out to Peach's rave on Friday. Meanwhile, in Super Mario RPG, the Chancellor, who could easily be seen as a beta Toadsworth, forbids Peach from joining Mario to defeat Smithy, to which she sneaks out and leaves a double in her place. And it reads very teen rebellion-y, doesn't it? It's probably a weird thing to do with IP protection. The smallest things can spiral into the public consciousness and change the wider perception of a franchise, and I doubt they want to lock in an age for any of the main Mario cast. It's also probably why the Mario movie didn't give Peach a specific caregiver, with multiple Toads looking after her at once. But there's also another reason I think he's been shafted, and I think it's likely that he just isn't needed anymore. Did you know Peach hasn't been kidnapped in 7 years? Mario Odyssey was the last time that happened, and if Toadsworth is anything, he's the personification of the panic that comes from her being kidnapped. He doesn't really have a narrative purpose otherwise, and even then, he worked in Sunshine because that game is a lot more cutscene heavy. It seems he's just past his prime in terms of use. Maybe he'll find a new role to fulfill, but ultimately, we probably won't see him again for a while, and maybe that's okay. He's an older guy, and I'm sure being able to see Peach as a stronger person, with a lot more agency and good friends around her, means he can afford to let go a little bit. Maybe this time off will do him some good. In the end, it just seems like we're seeing the retirement of Toadsworth. But even then, it seems like a shame for him to be forgotten like this. In a series with so much going on, it can be easy for some really fun characters to go under the radar. So, tell you what, I want you to tell me your favourite obscure Mario characters in the comments below. Also, whoever has the most obscure character picks will get pinned in the comments section. Okay, bye!